This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball, and tonight from Busch Stadium in St. Louis, it is game number 2 of a 4-game series. The St. Louis Cardinals are red hot. They'll play host to the Chicago Cubs. And welcome to the UMB Champions Club. My name is Dan McLaughlin. This place has been redone just for you at home, and we're going to show you that throughout our telecast tonight. Now I'm going to show you who's with us tonight. That is Rick Horton and Al Hrabosky. Al, on the field between the white lines, we see Tyler Lyons make his season debut. What do you expect?
Well, I expect him to have a chip on his shoulder. You know, he went to spring training with a chance to be the 5th starter. He was one of the first cuts. Then he goes down to AAA. He's in the rotation there. Tim Cooney gets the first shot to replace Adam Wainwright, not Tyler Lyons. So I hope he has a little attitude out there on the mound today. He's been much better as a reliever at the big league level than as a starter.
And Tyler is joining a Cardinal team that is red hot. They've won 7 straight games. Mike Matheny was asked before the game, does Mark Reynolds bring out the lineup card again? He said, absolutely. I'm not superstitious, but I respect the people who are.
The St. Louis Cardinals, the Chicago Cubs. Tyler Lyons' season debut comes your way tonight on Fox Sports Midwest.
Ricky Horton is behind the plate right now. Cardinal broadcaster and well-dressed man. Here we go. The windup and the pitch. Yeah. Well done, Jack. Thank you for all the great memories.
The Cardinals and the Cubs. A former Cub and some new faces played a big role in Game 1. Villanueva, Matt Belisle out of the bullpen. Jason Hayward taking third in a key play and a base hit late. And a grand slam for Mark Reynolds. The new faces came through in Game 1. Game 2 comes your way next. Is brought to you by Budweiser, designated driver, and enjoy the great times. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And visit your local Mid-America Chevy dealers for great prices on our all-new 2015 vehicles today. We are at the UMB Champions Club inside Busch Stadium, our vantage point just down the third base line, along with Al Raboski and Rick Horton, who will join us in innings 3 through 6. I'm Dan McLaughlin, and it's Cinco de Mayo. Where's your hat, Al?
It's at home.
You left it at home?
I left it at home.
You're not in the spirit?
On the horse.
On the horse?
Yes.
Well, at least we know where it is.
And had a little burl with a sombrero on his head, too. But I left it at home.
Very nice. Well, some got in the act of it. You didn't. I didn't. But they're here at the ballpark.
Look, a little theme night here, Cinco de Mayo.
That's right. Look at the Cubs lineup with Dexter Fowler, the switch hitter, followed by Anthony Rizzo and Kris Bryant. Jorge Soler did not start yesterday. He'll bat cleanup. Then Starlin Castro, Junior Lake, Wellington Castillo, Kyle Hendricks. So the pitcher batting 8th. And then Addison Russell. Tyler Lyons in his 3rd season. 4 stints up and down with the big club a year ago. And he's had 12 starts in his big league career, a record of 2-8.
And Dan, we saw his first 2, which were historic. His first 2 starts in the big leagues, he won. And since then, he's 0-7 as a starter.
First pitch is strike to Dexter Fowler, and our Hyundai pitch arsenal for the lefty. Things are starting to heat up a little bit here in St. Louis. 82 degrees our game time temperature. Beautiful night for baseball in the Gateway City. And the 1-1 pitch to Fowler. Breaking ball taken low.
Mr. Fowler, I thought he's already on his 3rd organization. Started with Denver, and then last year with Houston. I thought he was a pretty good player. Good
speed, good defensively, and a ground ball hit towards 3rd. Barehanded by Carpenter, and he got him. What a play by Matt Carpenter down at 3rd.
Do or die play right there. Matt, knowing the speed of Fowler, knew he couldn't take that ball in the glove and then make the exchange. So he comes down, bare hands it. You let it roll to your fingertips and then throw on the run. And a very nice play right out the gate.
Cardinals defense presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Holliday, Jay, and Hayward in the outfield. Carpenter at third. Peralta at short. Long and Adams on the right side. Molina behind the plate. There's Anthony Rizzo, who homered last night. Some major improvements a year ago with Anthony Rizzo. In particular, what he did against left-handed pitching. Much better. 189 was his average in 2013. It jumped to 300 a year ago.
I think he's just going to get better and better. Just one thing, he has a very good knowledge of the strike zone. He's already been hit 8 times, including once last night. But, you know, he's walking a ton. Already 16 walks. So his on-base percentage is 3rd best in the National League.
2 balls and 1 strike.
I mentioned those first 2 starts for Tyler Lyons were historic. He went 7 innings in both.
Good breaking ball there.
7 innings plus in both starts, and he allowed 1 run or less, 4 hits or less, and 1 walk or less. You see how close that pitch is, and it goes to Rizzo.
The 2-2. It's another breaking ball slapped, and that is fair. Just inside the third base line, and Rizzo on his way to second base. Throw by Holliday, not in time. Little excuse me swing by Rizzo, and it pays off. And a 1-out double.
Doesn't look like that in the scorebook, but Rizzo looked like that ball hit right on the chalk line. Watch our third base umpire. He's watching it so intently. Just inside, and now he has to straddle it, let it go through before making the call. That ball had a lot of English on it.
Now Kris Bryant still looking for his first major league home run. But already he's made an impact in this lineup. It's been interesting to see how Joe Madden has used him. Tonight he's in the 3rd spot in the lineup. Bryant, a natural third baseman. He's even started him at center field in one game.
Yes, I saw that one.
That was a game at Pittsburgh about a week ago. Last year against the Chicago Cubs, Tyler Lyons, part of a doubleheader, pitched in relief. 4 2/3. He struck out 8. And the first left-handed reliever since Al Raboski, who's that, in 1974, to strike out 8 in relief for the Cardinals.
Actually pitched better in relief last year than he did as a starter.
And an 0-2 pitch as Molina sets up way outside.
Lyons' first loss at Memphis this year, and he was 2-1 with an ERA under 3, was against the Iowa Cubs. Not sure Bryant and Russell were in that game. I heard some reports, but haven't had confirmation that they each had a home run off.
1-2 pitch. Breaking ball swung on and missed. Early indications, Al, is that the curveball here from Lyons is sharp.
Well, we saw him, you know, like that. You know, when he made his major league debut down in San Diego, we saw an outstanding breaking ball. His fastball was good enough where he would spot it to keep people honest. But that's a big pitch right there. And there you see our home tonight.
Expansion new for 2015 at the Champions Club. They added 80 plus seats, an outdoor patio, 3rd full service bar, and we'll be showing you some of the amenities here at the Champions Club as we go throughout our telecast.
And how about the buffet? Seems like it's a lot bigger than it was a year ago.
Here's Jorge Soler. A ton of strikeouts, nearly 40 already for Soler. But great power that he possesses. 2 balls, no strikes. He's hitting .266, 2 home runs, and he's driven in 9.
We saw Soler late last season, and he got our attention very quickly. He just crushed the Cardinal pitching. Very, very talented, and he's not the lone guy that's going to strike out a bunch in this lineup. They are much improved.
Now Molina wants to talk it over. Soler coming off a great spring. led the Cubs with 15 RBIs. He hit .351. And so much of the attention for the Cubs in spring, rightfully so, to Kris Bryant, but overlooked to an extent was Soler, who, as you mentioned, made his debut a year ago and did catch our attention.
Rizzo, the runner out at second base, and might have been Molina worrying about showing location.
The 2-0 pitch, breaking ball and a strike. So Soler defected from Cuba back in 2011. He was playing for the Cuban national team at that time. Defected, established a residency, and then signed a 9-year deal with the Chicago Cubs. The 2-1 pitch. There's that breaking ball again.
I want to see a little chip on the shoulder of Tyler Lyons, and there you see effective. If you can throw that breaking ball and keep it down and get it to swing, these guys to swing over the top of it or swing at it when it's a ball, he's got something going.
The 2-2. Misses in.
You also have to throw enough inside pitches to keep guys honest, keep them from diving out over the plate on an off-speed pitch.
Runner at second is Anthony Rizzo. 3-2 pitch. Ground ball to Carpenter. Up with it. And he makes the play. Cubs strand a runner at the top of the first. We're at the Champions Club, the UMB Champions Club at Busch Stadium. Cardinals coming up in the home half of the first. At 19-6, a 5.5 game lead over the Chicago Cubs.
A little better first half than last night.
A little quicker. John Jay will lead it off, followed by Matt Carpenter, then Matt Holliday. Matt Adams is your cleanup man, then Johnny Peralta, Jason Hayward, Yadier Molina, Colton Wong, and the pitcher batting ninth, Tyler Lyons. So John Jay inserted during this homestand into the leadoff spot. You drop down Matt Carpenter, drop down Jason Hayward, and Jay at a familiar spot. Leadoff and hitting .261 with no home runs and 4 RBIs. Kyle Hendricks is 0-1 this year, making start number 5 this season.
They say he hasn't pitched as poorly as his numbers would indicate. One thing that has been interesting is left-handed batters have given him a fit. 343 average. But of the Cardinal lefties, only Carpenter has hit him well.
1 ball, 1 strike. Hendricks has made 3 starts in his career against the Cardinals. 17 2/3 innings. He's allowed 6 earned.
John Jay's hit .311 in his career against the Cubs.
1-2 pitch. A check swing and it did not go. Home plate umpire tonight is Bill Welke. DJ Rayburn at first, John Tumpane at second, and the crew chief John Hirschbeck down at third. The 2-2. You think about last night, Al, total team effort. Reynolds grand slam. Hayward, I thought one of the key moments in the game, and there's the Hyundai pitch arsenal, but Hayward going first to third on a base hit to shallow left center. Villanueva, Belisle, total team effort last night.
Takes an effort.
Jay hit by the pitch. He did that last night.
And that's what's unusual too, is not Jay being hit by a pitch. Led the majors last year being hit by pitches and off to a fast start this year, but Kyle Hendricks is usually noted for his good control. He did tie a career high with 3 walks in his last start. But coming through the minor leagues, he had the best changeup and was a control artist, best control in the Cubs system.
That was rated by Baseball America back in 2013 when he was the minor league pitcher of the year for Chicago. Here's Matt Carpenter. And strike one.
I said that Carpenter's the exception in how well he has hit Hendricks. He is 5 for 8. And hopefully we can do some damage early.
Who doesn't he hit?
That's a very good point.
He has been on a tear. Short lead at first by Jay. And a fly ball lifted into center field. Dexter Fowler is there. 1 out. The Cubs defensively with Junior Link in left field. Dexter Fowler in center. Jorge Soler is in right. KRIS Bryant, Starlin Castro, Addison Russell, Anthony Rizzo along the infield. Wellington, Castillo behind the plate. Hendricks on the mound. Presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We know the Cardinals are rolling out. The question is, what does a loss like that do to the Cubs, a young team that at one point had a 5-0 lead on the Cardinals last night?
And then they had an 8-4 lead.
Right.
So they lost 2 big leads. Now we talk about momentum is only as good as the next night's starting pitcher. I think Joe Maddon's the perfect guy for a young team, and then to kind of, not gloss over, not make fun of it, but to get them back ready to play after a game like last night.
I also think he's the perfect guy to embrace everything that goes along with being a fan of the Cubs, manager of the Cubs, a player. You know about the history of losing, the curses. And he has fun with it.
You know what? This game is all about having fun. Usually the only way you have fun is when you win. But Joe Maddon worked on Mike Scioscia's staff. He grew up as a Cardinal fan. Remember the first time he came in here with the Tampa Bay Rays, and we were talking about Stan Musial, and he was just, goo-goo.
One ball, 1 strike on Holliday.
Holliday 4 for 9 with 2 home runs against Hendrick.
They go inside, and watch out. Holliday hits it sharply into left center field. Jay on his way to third base. Runners at the corners for St. Louis. Hendricks missed his spot, and again, Al, you go back to what you're talking about, a control pitcher. He doesn't throw overly hard. He's topping out around 88, 89. Miss a spot to Holliday, you'll get burned.
And one of the things you got to know about him too is you got to get him early, because the second time through the order he is outstanding. He really cuts down. They don't hit in the second time through the order, so it's very important to get him while you can.
Now Matt Adams with runners at first and third. Adams pops it up, shallow center, backing up Castro, and he makes the catch. Jay is tagging, throw to the plate, and out. Cardinals take a chance, and Castro throws out John Jay.
Mike Matheny wants to be very aggressive. We also know Castro sometimes could have mental lapses, but not this time.
Followed by Lake and Castillo. Andy pointed out the fastball of Lyons in the first inning. And he was saying the other day, everything feeds off my fastball. I have to be able to locate it at this level. If not, I'm in trouble. And the breaking ball, Al, has been sharp.
Well, that's one thing. You know, you can spot your fastball. You don't have to have a high octane if you can locate it. And you got to go in and out with it. But your breaking ball, you got to stay on top of it. A little loopy right there, but you know, if you throw enough of them, you're going to have some that are going to be hangers.
2 balls and 1 strike on Castro. Made the throw to the plate and a double play to end the first. When he catches this ball,
backpedaling.
Yeah, he's backpedaling. His weight is back, and really, in that position, he's not ready to throw, but gets away with it.
And Dan, you know, we've seen in the past, there's times where he has mental lapses and puts his head down. If he would have done it right there, we'd all be applauding that play. So Mike wants to be aggressive on the base paths, and if you're going to be aggressive, you're going to get some guys thrown out. How big was the play last night when Heyward went to first to third?
Play of the game in my mind.
Well, I mean, it kept the momentum going, and that was a big play. The Cardinals are much better this year going first to third.
Doesn't show up in the box score. It's not talked about, but a huge play last night. Check swing did go, and Castro will arrive at first base even though he strikes out.
Strikeout, wild pitch. Breaking ball in the dirt, that's tough for a catcher. Right at the feet of a hitter, and then sometimes you'll get a reverse spin. And in this case, he gets the second strikeout, but he reaches base on the wild pitch.
Wellington Castillo, the catcher, is on deck, and here's Junior Lake. He's hitting .333, no home runs and 1 RBI. Fastball taken out and away.
Junior Lake's another one of these young hitters that caught our attention last year. Much more talent on this Cubs team, but they still have a ways to go. They'll have to learn how to play winning baseball.
And the 1-0 pitch. 2 balls, no strikes. Carlos Martinez made the start last night. 3 2/3, 9 hits, 7 earned, walked 4. And what's he do the following day? This morning he spent the entire morning at St. Cecilia Catholic Church in South St. Louis, talking to a lot of the kids. Was playing wiffle ball with them. They said his visit was tremendous. A lot of the kids are from the Dominican and just learning the language here. Obviously, Carlos can communicate with them, and they said it was just a tremendous experience for those kids and for Carlos. The 2-0.
Dan, it's easy to make appearances like that when you won 3 straight games. But after you had a real clunker, and in many ways they felt that Martinez reverted back to being an emotional pitcher and letting some calls that didn't go his way, things get out of control instead of trying to back off a little bit, trying to go harder. That was good for him to go out there too and kind of regroup and revisit, and then also know that I put that game aside. I learned from it, and you learned that you don't want to repeat it.
Now 2-2, foul ball. By the way, here at the UMB Champions Club, they are selling $99 tickets for games in August and September. Cardinals.com/TV. It's a special TV price. And in August and September, you'll want to be here. It is hot outside, but air conditioned inside. Football gets going, and they have 30 flat screen TVs.
And you also have a guaranteed seat outside, still over the overhang, so that would protect you from the sun.
Those are games against the Pittsburgh Pirates, the Giants, the Nationals, and the Reds. That's the lowest price you'll get for the UMB Champions Club. $99, Cardinals.com/TV. See if they start the runner on the 3-2. They don't. Into right. Heyward can't come up with it.
He does a tremendous job of smothering that ball and not letting it get by. That might have been an inside the park home run if that ball gets by Heyward. No, John Jay was traveling that way, but comes in. It's a sinking line drive. 2-time Gold Glover, traps it and stops it. Thinking that he might be able to catch. Now he knows he can't. And thank goodness he was able to catch it on one hop.
Castro and Lake can both run. I think you're right. That's an inside the park home run if it scoots on by. Runners at first and second for Wellington Castillo, hitting .222, pair of home runs and 5 RBIs. The Cubs carry 3 catchers on their team.
And a short bench. They only have 4 bench players, with 2 of them being catchers.
Miguel Montero and David Ross. 2 balls and no strikes.
See Ross tomorrow night.
Cubs have added James Russell from their AAA Iowa affiliate. That's just taken place about half hour ago or so. 2-0 pitch and a strike, 2-1. That's pulled foul. This inning started with a strikeout by Lions Starlin Castro, but he advanced to first on a wild pitch. Base hit to right by Junior Lake, and 2-2 the count on Castillo. Tyler Lyons, a 9th round selection from the 2010 draft from Oklahoma State. The 2-2. Breaking ball got him. Strikeout number 3.
Breaking ball, backdoors it. A hitter looks like it's outside, and then he gives up on it, and it breaks to the corner. We want Tyler Lyons to make this a tough decision. It's our Toyota keys to the game. And what I mean by that is, you know, everybody sort of thinks that it's Jaime Garcia or Marco Gonzalez's job to replace Adam Wainwright. Well, right now it's Tyler Lyons. Those guys are still going to be a couple weeks away. So make it a tough decision. Make sure they can't just give that job away. And remember, if the Cardinals, if you pitch well enough in this, say, 2-3 weeks, there's other scouts in the stands every night. So you may find yourself on another ball club.
Now, Marco is scheduled to start for Memphis on Saturday. Garcia to begin a rehab assignment, start his clock on Sunday if he responds well tomorrow. Hendricks, the pitcher, batting 8th. Jaime threw 70 pitches today, and the club will see how he feels tomorrow and then act accordingly. 0-2 on Kyle Hendricks.
And to go back to spring training, remember he threw an 80-pitch game that you saw, a simulated game, was it?
Right.
And then everything was fine, but then the next day he came up lame. So that's why they say we'll wait and see how he feels tomorrow.
0-2 pitch and a strikeout. So Lyons has struck out the side here in the second inning. He has struck out 4 total. But the wild pitch allowing Castro to advance, an extra out for the Cubs, and now the 9th place hitter that homered late last night. He's only 21 years of age, Addison Russell.
He is the youngest player in the major leagues, 21 and 102 days, second youngest in all of baseball. And playing a new position at the big league level. He's a shortstop.
Most believe that's where he eventually will wind up. They love his glove. 0-1 pitch. Now 0-2.
Came in the Samardzija deal with Oakland. And of course now Samardzija no longer with Oakland, so that was an expensive rental player. And Samardzija signed as a free agent with the White Sox.
You think about John Lester, rental for Cespedes,
yeah,
who's now with Detroit. The 0-2. Rick Porcello is with Detroit and then traded for Cespedes. Porcello has since signed a 4-year extension with Boston.
Some of those deals, you'll accept them if you win. When you don't win, you look back on them for years.
And then the flip side of it too, Al, you also say you appreciate a GM that goes for it,
sure,
is aggressive. But man, you watch Addison Russell play in the big leagues for the next 10 or 15 years, and you say, what might have been?
Yeah, it was, remember, kind of one of those deals was Jim Fregosi and Nolan Ryan. And Jim Fregosi got to manage against the guy he was traded for 10-plus years.
I think John Smoltz.
Jeff Bagwell for Larry Anderson.
There you go. That's another good one.
John Smoltz was for Doyle Alexander, and Doyle did his job, and they ended up winning.
Smoltz headed to the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
One ball and 2 strikes on Addison Russell. And Lyons again wants to talk with Molina and get on the same page. The pitching for the Cardinals, Al, has been remarkable. Even though they allowed 9 runs yesterday, the home ERA is 2.28. The relievers at home, they've given up 6 earned in nearly 50 innings. That's an ERA just over 1. It's incredible.
And the team ERA for the season is 2.44. I mean, as good as those relievers are, they're not quite as good as the Kansas City relievers. They've got a 1 ERA for the year.
Really a carryover of the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning from their terrific second half run and then postseason run.
Absolutely. And then you're talking about the Cardinal bullpen. They already got 8 combined wins.
2-2, breaking ball misses. So the count runs full. And Castro and Lake off with his next pitch. 3-2, 2 outs here in the top of the second.
Most hitters are going to be looking fastball. Do you have confidence to throw that breaking ball?
He does, but missed. So the first walk issued by Tyler Lyons, and it brings in Dexter Fowler, who was robbed by Matt Carpenter to start the game. So Castro struck out, advanced on a wild pitch to first base. Junior Lake is single into right. Now the walk to Addison Russell. The Cubs had the lowest on-base percentage from the leadoff spot last year at just over 300. That's one of the reasons why they bring in Dexter Fowler. His on-base percentage, 375. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now, nobody has scored in this game, but of concern is that Tyler Lyons is closing in on 50 pitches.
That is a big concern. Your bullpen did get a little rest last night, but still it's not in the best shape.
The 1-1. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Good thing right now is just taking that little stroll. Tyler was a an All-American, All-State quarterback in high school, and then was going to Oklahoma State before being drafted.
2-1 pitch. 2-2.
And that's an All-State quarterback in Texas. I heard they play pretty good football there.
He is from Lubbock. Now the crowd trying to get behind Tyler Lyons. The 2-2. We'll do it again. Huge crowds here at Busch Stadium in the first month, and that's carried over here to the month of May. But they're behind Tyler Lyons now. Ground ball. Peralta, force play. Cubs strand the bases loaded. The 2011 World Series trophy here at the UMB Champions Club. Bash tonight with Jack Clark, and Jim Hayes is standing by with Jack.
The ever-popular Jack Clark throughout the first pitch tonight. Jack, I know a lot of people were excited to see you do that. I think they all had the same question. Couldn't you have found someone else besides Ricky Horton to catch?
Well, as a good friend, ex-teammate, plus I wanted to see him what it was like to catch something about 73, 74 miles per hour, which he used to throw. So
you love being out here.
He hung on to it, though, man.
And he looked good. He's wearing a suit. Give him a little credit, right?
That's right, man.
You were signing autographs as well. You love this, don't you?
Yeah, it was great. Thank the Cardinals for having a bobblehead day for me. It was special. I had my family, my grandkids here. Never been in St. Louis at a Cardinals game. And great fan. Everybody's so nice. It's just the best place in baseball in the country.
You were part of some great teams, obviously. Your 87 team had 3 straight walk-off wins, just like this team had against the Pirates. Just your thoughts on the role that this team's going on.
Well, it's a good feeling. We win those one-run games, extra-inning games, walk-off games, and then you come back like you did yesterday, and you got your horse weaned right out of there. So I mean, just shows, I think, from the top down, the management and everything, what it takes to get the job done. But they're professionals, so I mean, you hit a game-winning home run, they could turn around, you could be the GOAT the next day, and they know that. So it's just, you kind of put it behind you as fast as possible and move on. And everybody else gloats and everybody else talks about it on the radio, TV, but the players move on, because they know it's the 162, that journey you go on, anything can happen. It's a long season. Other guys could get injured. Other guys get injured on other teams. Other teams make runs, and Cardinals are like the Yankees. They got that bullseye on them because they're always up there, and so they're constantly trying to be knocked off. So when teams come in here or they go to face them, they're usually getting their 1, 2, and 3 pitchers, and even if they shouldn't, the manager usually finds a way to put their best guys against, because you have to, or else you can't stop them. So I'm really happy for Mike and his staff, and it's just a great organization. When you have Red Changes, Whitey Herzog, all the great Hall of Famers, Gibby, Ozzie, Lou, all around, Bruce Sutter. I mean, it's so just a wonderful place, wonderful baseball atmosphere. Listen, Cat, for me, coming from San Francisco, Candlestick Park, this really was heaven on earth. Trust me, just because there's no damn foul territory, man. Well, it's extra hack, man.
It's always a treat seeing you.
All right, Cat, love you, brother.
All right, Jack the Ripper, Dan.
You know what, Al? You could take the inning off, I think. Let Jim and Jack just take over. Wait a minute, they did. Great here from Jack Clark.
Absolutely. And found out he loves Cat.
Who doesn't?
I sure do.
3-2 pitch to Hayward following the double by Peralta. Hayward with a high fly ball into right center. Fowler gets himself in a position to throw, tagging up Peralta from second to third. And the Cardinals have a runner at third base and just 1 out.
Little simple things like that, Dan. I think that Mike is trying to emphasize to his players, be aggressive. Now, you should be tagging up and advancing on a ball like this, but I'm not sure everybody thought that way in the past. And it sure is a big difference. It puts pressure on the team when you get that runner to third and just 1 out.
Jack Clark has one of the most famous home runs in Cardinals history. Tom Niedenpure, Game 6 of the NLCS, 1985, and sent the Cardinals to the World Series. Great to see him here at the ballpark, and now here's Molina.
You ever heard about that home run? Niedenpure gave it up.
And the one to Ozzie.
Yeah, but I'm going to try and think of the pitcher that called up Niedenpure after the home run for Jack Clark. He said, "Don't worry about it. I'm the most hated pitcher in Dodger history because I gave up the one to Joe Morgan that knocked the Dodgers out of the '82 Western Division. After he gave up the home run to, it was Terry Foster, and after he gave up the home run to Ozzie, he said, 'You just passed me.'"
The 2-0 pitch taken low by Molina. Infield is in for the Chicago Cubs. Almost make a case that Kyle Hendricks is not coming to a pause on the mound. Almost. A couple of times it almost looked as if he was not even set and then coming to the plate.
That was heavily scrutinized several years ago, and then it's one that has kind of slipped by the way. It used to be a discernible stop.
Agreed, yeah.
We've had several pitchers this year that we've said that.
3-1 past Hendricks into center field. Cardinals lead it 1-0. Somehow that got through. Past Hendricks, past Castro, past Russell, and into center for a 1-0 lead.
By getting that runner over to third base, it wasn't the prettiest of hits, but it was effective. Somehow it gets over the mound. Somehow it gets by short and second and just trickles into center field for an RBI single. Been a tough homestand for Molina. That's just his 4th hit in 28 at bats, but right now it could be a game winner.
Now it's Colt Wong. And the Cardinals' second baseman takes a pitch low. By the way, Tyler Lyons was a strike away from striking out 4 in an inning. Got the ground out. He would have been the first to do that since Bob Gibson in 1966. Kia in the driver's seat, what the left-handed hitters have done against right-handed pitching. The oddity there is Jason Hayward, who's hitting 186. And yet against lefties, Hayward is hitting 333. That was the big knock on him coming into this season, what he does against left-handed pitching.
Yeah, Hayward was sub 200 against left-handed pitching. And I mentioned that Hendricks has had trouble with left-handers this year. They're hitting 343 coming in against him.
The 2-1 is hit to second. Double play ball. 4-6-3 on the double play. Cardinals strike first thanks to Yadier Molina. Base hit into center field. RBI number 11. We play 2. Birds on top. By Steel Outdoor Power Equipment. Quality, reliability, and value. Find a servicing Steel dealer at steeldealers.com or search STIHL. And Jack's Honest Sandwich is back. Head to Jack in the Box for Jack's Blazing Chicken Sandwich. The bullpen here in St. Louis has been awfully busy, and we'll see them tonight. Pitch count is already high for Tyler Lyons to record 6 outs. So the question here, the BJC Healthcare difference maker, the bullpen, last 7 days. Al, tonight specifically, who do you think would be off limits?
Well, off limits probably would be Belial. You know, you would love to give Rosenthal a second day, but probably can't afford to. Segris, kind of the same thing, because you look at how many times, 4 appearances already this week. Sokolovic, you kind of question that one because he's picked up wins in 2 days. You may want to go with a lucky hand. Obviously, Villanueva would be a guy that you want to stay away from. But Schott will be available. You know, heck, he pitched 4 out of 5 days, but threw 6 pitches, the most he threw with 1 batter.
It's Rizzo, Bryant, and Soler.
I will go out on a limb and say we're not going to get a complete game from Tyler Lyons tonight.
And the breaking ball is taken for his strike. The bold prediction by my partner tonight, Al Raboski. A double down the third base line from Rizzo, his first time up. Really an improvement not only against left-handed pitching for Rizzo, but off-speed pitches as well. Against curveballs and sliders, he had 220 2 years ago. Last year, 308. Takes that high, 3-1.
Dan, I think that's one of the big things is he really has a good comprehension of the strike zone. So he's usually hitting in a hitter's count. It's 3-1 now. They should do a lot of damage.
And he lines it into center field for a base hit. Anthony Rizzo 2 for 2. Just some of the big screens here at the UMB Champions Club. 30 flat screen TVs, full service bars, 3 of those. All inclusive buffet. And again, we've added 80 plus seats, an outdoor patio. Great place to be for Cardinals baseball.
I may be wrong about this, but I think there are 3 different versions of the World Series trophy, and all 3 of them are on display here at the UMB Champions Club.
Kris Bryant struck out swinging first time up. Lyons has struck out 4 so far tonight. There's the 06 World Series trophy. Showed you the 11 going to break last inning. Here's the 0-1 pitch. No balls and 2 strikes.
I know Kris Bryant had 43 home runs last year between AA and AAA, and had hit 9 home runs in the Cactus League this spring. Well, why is everyone afraid to pitch to him? I mean, he's off to a great start, but how many times are they walking him?
Al, I made the point last night. I don't know if you heard me say that, but you know, for a guy that's been in the league for just over 2 weeks, he's getting the respect of Barry Bonds. He was called up on April 17th, and since that time he has 16 walks. Harper in that time, Bryce Harper has 20. Harper's first, Bryant second. Here's a 1-2 pitch.
He got off to a great start with 5 multi-hit games in his first 10 major league games. He's obviously a tremendous talent, but he's not going to hit 400. So the percentages that you can get him out.
And they got him. Couldn't hold up. The check swing. And a strikeout of Bryant. Second time that Lyons has gotten him. And that's 5 already for Tyler Lyons. Some of the amenities that we have here at the UMB Champions Club. And again, visit Cardinals.com/TV to access specially priced $99 seats for games in August and September. It's the lowest price you'll pay. UMB Champions Club, Cardinals.com/TV. And there's an error on Tyler Lyons. Gets past Adams. And Rizzo on his way to third.
Rizzo does have 7 steals, so he is a threat to run, but Lyons doesn't have the greatest move, and really was kind of non-move here. You saw Rizzo was at the bag, and he throws it away for a 2-base error.
Soler with the infield in. Grounded out to third his first time up.
Infield in. Tyler Lyons does have the confidence that he can continue to throw that breaking ball, even throwing the dirt with a runner at third base, knowing Molina will block it.
The 1-0. Hit out to left. Holliday makes the catch. Rizzo will tag up. Rizzo will score. We're tied up 1-1. RBI number 10 for Jorge Soler.
Lyons kind of hung that pitch there, and he put a good whack on it. Holliday made a strong throw, but it looked like, I don't know if that ball was knuckling on him or not, because it looked like when he came in, he had to reach to his left to haul the line drive in. He adjusted and had his momentum behind him, made a strong throw, but Rizzo's got pretty good speed for a big man.
So 2 outs, nobody on. Here's Starlin Castro. Struck out back in the second inning. Starlin Castro with 5 consecutive opening day starts. And he is only 25 years old. 3-time All-Star. Last year his season was cut short in the final month. Dealt with an ankle injury. Hit .292. One pitch. The amazing thing about Castro, he's already played nearly 800 games at shortstop. The highest total for any player before turning 25 at that position since Robin Yount, who's in the Hall of Fame.
Got to the big leagues at a young age.
And he strikes out here. So 2 strikeouts in the inning. 6 for Tyler Lyons. Midway through 3, we're tied up. It's 1-1. Cream tomorrow. Receive a dozen of their original glazed donuts for only $3.99. Stop by one of the 4 St. Louis area Krispy Kremes for this sensational deal. That's the Mad Hungarian Al Raboski. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Behind us somewhere, Rick Horton. He's signing autographs, kissing babies, taking pictures. A man of the people, that Rick Horton. Then you'll be that man of the people for the 4th, 5th, 6th innings. That's our vantage point from the UMB Champions Club here at Busch Stadium. Glad that you're with us.
He's got a little text message from a great friend and a super dad, Mike Potoff, Hope his family's doing well, and we wish Mike a speedy recovery and want to see him out here at the ballpark.
Lyons grounds out to short. We're underway here in the home half of the third, tied up at 1. Kyle Hendricks, the nickname is the Professor, a degree in economics from Dartmouth. 25-year-old from Newport Beach, California, 8th-round pick by the Texas Rangers back in 2011. He was acquired from Texas in the Ryan Dempster deal. Dempster has since retired and now working in the front office for the Chicago Cubs. John Jay hit by a pitch back in the first and then thrown out at the plate on a double play. The Cubs have turned 2 tonight. 0-1 pitch.
One of our keys to the game is we wanted guys to get to Hendricks early, because the second time through the order, it's not a big number, but opponents are batting 194 against Hendricks the second time through the order.
1 ball and 2 strikes on John Jay, and a strikeout. First strikeout for Kyle Hendricks.
We mentioned that Hendricks has just got pinpoint control. An excellent changeup. You see that second time through the order. Obviously, with no complete games, the hitters start having freedom late in third time through the order.
Here's Matt Carpenter. Last year, Hendricks was 7-2, 2.46 ERA with Chicago in 13 games. And he's one of the reasons why the Cubs come into the season with hope. Hendricks, Arrieta, they add John Lester. Obviously, the addition of Joe Madden, Kris Bryant, Soler. They've got Baez in the minor leagues, but Addison Russell. One and 2 the count.
Yeah, Hendricks made 13 starts last year and was 7-2 with a ERA under 250. He was the National League Rookie Pitcher of the Month of August with a 4-0 record, ERA under 2.
1-2 pitch. Taken low and away, 2-2. Once again, that ticket offer for $99 to the UMB Champions Club games in August and September. Air conditioning here, football season right around the corner. Cardinals.com/TV.
It's always been one of our favorite stops when we're not working. And now it's even better with the expanded usage. Third full service bar. It's a great location to watch a game.
2-2. Mentioned this the other day. The Cardinals have sold 2.9 million tickets here in early May and trending towards 3.5. Amazing.
Incredible.
3-2 pitch. Taken for a ball. I'm sure Hendricks questioning that pitch, and I don't blame him. Look at Joe Madden.
It's like Madden's trying to figure out where is it. And you should be able to have the right to ask. Just a little bit in.
Joe Madden grew up cheering for the St. Louis Cardinals. He loved the Cardinals. Used to listen to their games on KMOX. I asked him, I said, what did KMOX mean to you? He said everything. Everything.
It was his baseball lifeline. He grew up in Pennsylvania, is that right?
Yeah, Pennsylvania. He still has a letter from Harry Carey. He wrote Harry Carey to tell him about his Little League team. And Joe was telling me this before the game. And there's John Rooney and Mike Shannon, Jim Jackson. Joe Madden grew up on Garagiola, Buck, and Carey. And he said he wrote Harry Carey a letter to tell him about his Little League team. And he said Harry wrote him back a letter on Anheuser-Busch letterhead with it. And he said he still has that letter framed and hanging from his wall in his office at his home. He said it's one of his prized possessions that he still owns. He replaces Rick Renteria, and to no fault of Rick Renteria's, he gets fired, but they had a chance to get Joe Madden. They went for it.
Yeah, it's one of those injustices because Renteria did a pretty nice job.
Here's a 1-1. Holliday with a fly ball lifted to right field. Soler is there. It puts it away. Cardinals strand a runner. They have stranded 2. Joe Madden and the Cubs tied up 1-1. Premium #1 live streaming sports service. Visit MLB.tv. The UNB Champions Club. Tyler Lyons back to work. Now we'll go visit with some of the fans back there, and we have Rick Horton back with us. You've been busy tonight. You were part of the Scholar Athlete Dinner.
Oh, it was terrific. What a great event that is every year, Dan.
And then you also had to catch the first pitch from the great slugger Jack Clark.
What an honor it was to get to do that. And I heard the interview with Jim Hayes in the 3rd inning, in case you're wondering. And Jack said that he wanted me to see what a 78-mile-an-hour fastball looked like. I heard him say that. You know what I threatened to tell him? I said, hey, Jack, I'm going to barehand you. I don't even really need a glove. And he said, if you don't wear a glove, I'm going to make you wish you had, even if I hurt my shoulder.
He's going to hurt you. Fly ball deep right. Hayward back, spun around, and with just enough room up against the wall. Junior Lake is 1 for 2. You see Hayward pointing towards John Jay, and I'm sure the guys in the bullpen to help him out verbally, yelling at him how much space, how much room he's got out there.
He's wondering where the wall is right now, and I think that's what he's saying. Give me a little help with that. And Hayward's such a good outfielder. We've seen some great plays from him. He made a nice play knocking that ball down earlier tonight, and you and I both just love to watch him throw a baseball.
He's got a cannon. The play he made the other day from the sidewall and right, throwing a runner out at second, caught your attention. There's no question about that.
By the way, Dan, a little issue with Jack Clark, and you've been down this road with me before, but I was fortunate enough to get my very own Jack Clark bobblehead. After
you broke another one.
And I broke the bat somehow. I've got a bad history with these, don't I?
Ground ball that's hit to short might be the only broken bat you've ever had in your career.
Wait a minute. I wasn't going there with that, but
You didn't jam many, did you?
No, a couple pitchers. Certainly not Jack Clark. But we know
we love giving you trouble.
But we know the problem I had with the Al Raboski.
Well, you took his head off on that one.
Well,
this one's just
the head
back.
fell off.
Didn't fall off, Rick. It was pulled off. Here's Kyle Hendricks. Castillo rounded out to short. Hendricks has struck out in Lions, has struck out 6 here tonight. That's great that Jack said his family's here, grandkids are here. They've never been to the ballpark. Neat stuff.
So fun to see his girls. I knew them when they were probably 3 and 5 years of age, and to see them all these years later with their family, and Jack with his grandkids. And very special day for him. And interesting, I talked to Bill Miller about him prior to the game, and he said he was one of those guys you just love to watch hit. He hit like no other.
7 strikeouts. Jack Clark in attendance tonight. You can grab Cardinals tickets all season long, even at the last minute. The official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Cardinals, it's StubHub. 1-1 game as we move to the home half of the fourth. The Scholar Athlete dinner tonight.
Yeah,
Good
there were
stuff.
hundreds of kids here celebrating being the Scholar Athlete from their local area high school. The Post-Dispatch has done that for years. Bob Bragg really kind of came up with that a long time ago, the sports writer, to honor athletes who were also tremendous in school. And Mitch Harris had a chance to address them, and he is an engineering major from the Naval Academy. I was not aware that's what he studied, so he did a terrific job of encouraging and congratulating those who were being honored tonight.
The 2-0 pitch hit out of play by Adams. Underway here in the home half of the fourth.
And Dan, we're up here at the UMB Champions Club, and I'm wondering if you've had a chance to get the Cinco de Mayo enchiladas yet.
Oh, yeah.
You did?
Oh, yeah.
Good call.
Well, right now they are.
Outstanding.
Time will tell. Let's check in with Jim Hayes. Jimmy.
Dan, I'm with Dan Farrell, Senior VP of Sales and Marketing for the Cardinals. So we're showcasing the Champions Club. If someone wants to come and check it out for themselves, there's a lot of specials, right, Dan?
Yeah, actually tonight we're running a special, $99 for select games in August and September. Go to Cardinals.com. I'm not sure.
Cardinals.com.
Cardinals.com/TV.
I knew you'd get it. I think for families it's great here because you can go out and watch the game, and there's a little room indoors so the youngsters can kind of run around a little bit.
Yeah, it's there are families. It's really generally an older crowd because you do get to take advantage of the food and beverage, and you can see that the bars are very popular up here. So it's a great place for fans that really want to take come out and have a full experience, get everything paid for on one ticket.
I'm going to grab a plate. Unless Rick, Dan, did you guys already fix a plate for me? I don't know.
Peralta is safe at first. No, we didn't, Jim.
Thought about it. Kind of.
Try the enchiladas. Well, Bryant makes a very good play down at third on the backhand.
Ball was hit hard off the bat of Peralta, and he's having a nice year offensively. He has a lot of balls that he's hit hard, and actually Bryant does the difficult part of actually getting the glove on it. Just didn't stick as he's tried to turn around. He kind of bobbled it for a moment, and that was all Peralta needed.
So now here's Heyward. Give it time with Heyward moving down in the lineup, but he seems to be more comfortable in this spot for whatever reason. He's drawn more walks. He's driving the ball.
Well, you mentioned it earlier, Dan. I've been thinking a lot about it because you may be surprised, but I listened to what you say. And thinking about Heyward coming to the Cardinals, maybe the perfect place for him because he doesn't have to come here and be the man all by himself. He joins an offense that has some guys that are able to drive in runs like Holliday and Molina and Peralta and others, so he doesn't have all that pressure on him to be the main producer, and I think that may free him up to be one of the main producers. And some of this comes from a conversation I had with Brian Jordan in the offseason, who knows Heyward well from Atlanta, and he said he's going to love St. Louis, and St. Louis will love him, and I think that's part of the reason why.
2 balls, 1 strike on Heyward. Fly to center. The first 2 have reached here in the home half of the 4th. Heyward bounces it to the right side. Slowly hit. They'll get Peralta at second base. Runners at first and third and 1 out. So it brings in Yadier Molina. A CI single his first time up. Good numbers with runners in scoring position, hitting .421. Runners at the corners. And a check on Heyward, who is a threat to steal.
So far, a bit more normal of a ball game, Dan, than we saw yesterday. I think that would be a understatement.
9 runs in the first inning yesterday.
But it had its fun moments, didn't it?
Sure did. Now time is called.
A lot of conversation before the game today with a lot of people around the ball club about just how a game like that can energize you. And when you play a game that's long and back and forth and maybe not the neatest game and you come away with a victory, that can be really special.
Popped up. I also think it can have a reverse effect on a young team like the Chicago Cubs.
Right. No question.
Mark Reynolds had a couple of hits, a walk, the grand slam.
Loved his defense too. Really didn't know much about kind of what we would expect from Reynolds defensively. He's been a third baseman in his career, played a little outfield, first base, just not sure how he would be around the bag, but he made a couple of very nice plays.
Here's an 0-1. Molina hits it sharply to third. Bryant to second. The turn. And is he on the bag? Safe, and a run will score. Rizzo not on the bag. Joe Madden hops out of the dugout and says, hold on. We may want to review this, and I'm sure that they will.
You can see Rizzo, if you can read lips, saying, I thought I was on. That's what he was mouthing to the umpire, and looks like Joe Madden's going to have him take a look at that. Is he on the bag or not? Oh, boy. That is so close. But once he got off, He's reaching for it, but you can only stretch but so far. So Yachty comes in the back door.
He's never on it.
Well, he never gets back on it. The question is, was he on it to begin with? That's what he thinks he was. And that was very close. Again, Dan, is it in the back of the glove right now? And is his foot on the bag?
That look, I would say yes.
And so the question is not does he reach back and get the bag, is did he have it in the first place? He believes he did.
By the way, how about the flexibility here from Rizzo? It's a big man out there doing the splits.
If you're a first baseman, you better be agile. The average replay time so far this season, Dan, has been 1 minute and 47 seconds, which is a little bit better than I thought it would be, and many calls have been even quicker than that. And they are calling him out.
The challenge successful for Joe Madden and the Cubs. 1-1. Paninis, cookies, brownies, beers, soda, Cracker Jack, whatever you want, you've got it here at the UMB Champions Club. So Lions pitching into the fifth. It's a 1-1 game. Two close plays have now cost the Cardinals 2 runs in this game. The Cubs have turned 3 double plays. There's that good breaking ball that Andy was just speaking of. This is Addison Russell, but you go back to the first inning, Adams tagging up on a shallow fly ball, hit to Starlin Castro. They throw out the runner at the plate, and then just moments ago the double play turned on the infield. 0-2 pitch.
One of the things I like about Tyler Lyons' breaking ball, and Andy said it's been very effective here, and he gets the call third strike because it breaks late. It kind of just sits out there outside the plate, and then the last second it just comes in.
Well hit out to left, and it's off the wall. Played there by Holliday. And Addison Russell was just a few feet away from his second home run in this series. You know who that is?
That's Tyler.
Tyler Hayes, Jim Hayes' son.
So there's going to be another Jim Hayes?
Well, this is Tyler.
Well, you know what I mean. Another Jim Hayes.
Oh, another one of those kind of guys.
That's what I'm saying.
You got to hear that kid already. He's a smart aleck. Here's Dexter Fowler, but he's a good kid. We like him.
No doubt.
Oh, look who it is. The McCanns are here. Brian McCann, our producer. His wife and children are here. There's a bunt put down by Dexter Fowler. Lions underhands to the bag at first. And Russell advancing to third.
So bunting the runner from second to third, and this is what speed does for a pitcher. You see Tyler Lyons, I mean, he was pretty agitated about making sure he got that to first base quickly. And then again, the pressure of speed. And defense has already been a big part of this game. You mentioned the play by Yachty, bang bang at first base, but that became a rally because of the error by Bryant. And then the error that was committed by Tyler Lyons led to the unearned run that came in the third inning.
So you have Rizzo here. Takes a ball low. 2 balls and no strikes. Anthony Rizzo has doubled down the third base line and singled back in the third. The 2-1 pitch. The infield is in. Breaking ball from Lyons tonight has been really good.
That's the sharpness I was talking about. He's starting it out at that one right at Rizzo, and then it just darts quickly. And against the right-handers, he's catching them kind of looking. Really, that's his best pitch. Now, that wasn't a good one there. That one he got underneath and kept up in the zone, but it's kind of his go-to pitch. And he actually has 2 different breaking balls, a sharper slider and a little bit bigger curveball. And when a pitcher can change speeds on his breaking ball, he's got something.
The 3-1 pitch on its way in the dirt, blocked by Molina. Second walk issued by Lyons. Pitch count at 90. You may see some activity for the Cardinals in their bullpen shortly.
Well, this may be a key moment right here in this game. You've got one of the best young hitters in baseball who's not having a good night yet, but with that promise comes a lot of power. And you've got a pitcher with 90 deliveries already. You tend to tire a little bit as it goes along. So this is a key moment for Tyler Lyons. Can he get the ground ball double play? Or will Bryant get him?
Breaking ball and a strike. I don't think we should be overly surprised with the strikeouts. At AAA, nearly 300 innings for Tyler Lyons and 9 strikeouts per 9 in his career. And at times, in appearances here in the big leagues, he has done this. He struck out 7 tonight. The 0-1 pitch. Now 0-2.
I think why people may be surprised is you look at velocity and you say, how can he do it? But that, again, comes from his breaking ball.
Oh-2 pitch. The check swing did not go. That's what he did in his previous at bat on the check swing. Identical pitch and struck out. Adams holding at first. The infield is back for the potential double play. The 1-2. Inning started with a double by Addison Russell off the wall and left. Fowler, a sacrifice. Rizzo, the walk. And now Kris Bryant. Most in the National League belong to the Cubs in terms of strikeouts. That pitch was up and a base hit into left. Kris Bryant has put the Cubs on top 2-1. RBI number 12 for the rookie.
When you throw a lot of breaking balls, it's often difficult to stay sharp with it, especially when you're throwing multiple breakers in one inning. You're bound to hang one, and that unfortunately is what Tyler Lyons does there. 12 RBIs now for Bryant in his young career. Seth Maness is looks like he's available for a different role tonight.
Last night, final outs in this game, closed it out for St. Louis. You know, he's not the high leverage maximum guy that you're talking about in terms of, you know, total power coming to the plate, so he's used night after night. At some point that may catch up with him. Soler catches up with that pitch. Throw by Holliday is cut off by Carpenter. The base is loaded here for Chicago.
Well, here's where we may see Maness right now, is he's a double play specialist, and Mike Matheny likes to use him in a point of the game when you absolutely need a double play. And the Cubs have already picked up a run. They have the bases loaded, trying to get Maness ready in a hurry. And I'm thinking Mike's asking for the stall technique here to see if Maness is ready. And here he comes.
So that'll be it for Tyler Lyons. His night is through. And again, a starter filling in for Adam Wainwright cannot get through 5. The other day in the day game, it was Tim Cooney, and today it's Tyler Lyons. So here comes Seth Maness, and it's up to the bullpen again. How many times can the Cardinals, night after night, go back to this bullpen? The Chevy called to the pen. Maness coming on when we come back. Carlos Martinez and another current player will sign inside gate 1 for fans 15 and under, starting at $5.45. Scott Cooper, Danny Cox will sign for fans of all ages starting at $6.15. Players are subject to change. For more details, visit Cardinals.com/promotions. Seth Maness.
This is how he made a name for himself and a big league career for himself, getting 2 outs with 1 pitch in a situation just like this.
It's fouled back. Starlin Castro with the bases loaded. Castro struck out twice against Tyler Lyons. One ball, 1 strike. in the dirt, blocked by Molina. Nicely done.
Manus using his changeup there, and we've talked quite a bit in the past about how he gets ground balls with his changeup as well as his sinker. Both down in the zone, moving down.
There's your ground ball. And there is, oh, you almost had the double play, but Adams off the bag. And a quick turn by Wong, and a run will score. The Cubs pick up a couple on that play to make it 4-1.
Oh, so close. Manus gets what he wants. Here's the flip. The throw from Wong is just a bit high, so not only does the first run score, but here comes the second run as Adams cannot stay on the bag. Wow, two plays very similar at first base, and really the difference from a couple of inches for Adams not being able to stay on with that high throw, and Rizzo hanging on in the last inning.
And Bryant coming around third to score. So 2-run score on that play, and it brings in Junior Lake, who's 1 for 2. It's now a 4-1 Chicago lead. Shelby Miller tonight for the Atlanta Braves. A complete game, 3-hit shutout. He's now 4-1 this year.
There's the ground ball to short. Peralta, the quick flip, and then the throw is just high. Would have been close at first base anyway, but I believe they would have had him. And a tough break for Seth Maness, Tyler Lyons, and the St. Louis Cardinals.
Ground ball that's pulled foul.
And Dan, I know what you're thinking again. This is like 3 days in a row I've been inside your head. But you're thinking what I'm thinking, what I think a lot of Cardinal fans are thinking, that this 3-run lead in this game feels different than the lead that the Cubs had last night. It felt like it was much more of a wild game. But this one, that just feels like that was a big moment in this particular game. Not that the Cardinals can't come back. They're certainly capable of doing it. But this is going to be a tough road with Hendricks pitching well. We've seen this Cardinal team certainly capable of doing it, though.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Junior Lake, who singled to right and also fly to right. Strikeout for Maness. The Cubs add to their lead. It's 4-1. Great matchup tomorrow. Will come your way at 6:30. The Budweiser What's on Tap on Fox Sports Midwest.
Beautiful night at the ballpark. We're at the UMB Champions Club. Hoping for another Cardinal come from behind victory. New and improved UMB Champions Club. A lot more space here. And some great deals if you go to Cardinals.com for future nights.
In particular, Pirates, Giants, Nationals, and Reds in August and September. As Wong hits a high fly ball out to deep right. Soler back. And it's off the wall. Colton Wong on his way to second base.
We've talked about the power of Colton Wong. Nice, easy swing. The home run he hit the other night, 421 feet. This one almost got out of there. Up and in, turns on it. Quick hands.
You know, the Cardinals have actually won 11 straight when Colton Wong hits a home run. He homers, the Cardinals win.
Well, the way it's been in 2015, he shows up at the ballpark and the Cardinals win.
Right. We show up, they win.
Right. Mark Reynolds takes out the lineup card. They win.
And Borges hit by the pitch. The pinch hitter for Seth Maness. That's the second man that Hendricks has hit. The first two have reached, and we're back to the top of the lineup.
Mike Matheny, by the way, and you see the lineup card in Joe Madden's hand, but Mike Matheny was quizzed a lot about, is he going to have Mark Reynolds bring up the lineup card? We talked about it in our open. And he was very funny, Mike was, talking about it with reporters. They said, well, I thought you weren't superstitious. And he said, well, I'm really not. But I get baseball, and I respect people who are superstitious.
So I'll play along.
So
right?
you don't want to go against that grain when there's a good feeling going on. And the Cardinals have won 7 straight with Reynolds doing that, so why not?
Now John Jay, nobody out, 2 on. And Jay hits a fly ball out to deep left. Lake is back on the track, makes the catch. And the runners stay put. You can see the frustration there with Colton Wong.
I thought Colt might be tagging on that as the ball was hit so deep. And he's not quite sure what to do. He's kind of standing in the middle thinking about it. And by the time he gets there, it's too late. And I think he was frustrated by the fact he didn't read that more quickly. And I think he would have made it from second to third, would have been a productive out.
Is it one of those plays, too, that if Lake doesn't get there with his speed,
he'll score anyway?
Exactly. Yeah, so that's why he should be at third base.
I think that's what you think about, especially you think about that in center field on a ball that's over the head of a center fielder. It's like you might as well tag up anyway because you'll score if he drops it. In left field, in a corner outfield fly ball, not quite as obvious, but yes, I think he would have been able to.
Now it's Carpenter who has walked and also flied out to center. And Carpenter hits it a ton out to deep right field. This is gone, and we're tied. Matt Carpenter turned on that pitch. 3-run homer, 5th of the year, tied up 4-4.
Curtain call, and the Cardinals are indeed capable of coming back in this game. Carpenter spoke a year ago at the Scholar Athletes Dinner award ceremony that we also had tonight. And he didn't speak tonight, but he did with the lumber. You don't often see him turn on a pitch like that. Normally he uses the middle of the field.
And Holliday a base hit into center.
104 miles an hour off the bat of Matt Carpenter. On a very smooth, kind of not very dramatic swing. He's just very, very smooth in his approach.
Chris Bosio and the Cubs are saying, here we go again. Inning started with a double. And there's Edwin Jackson, who was part of the Cardinals championship in 2011. Won the double. Borges hit by a pitch. Jay a fly out to deep left. Carpenter a 3-run homer. And now a single for Holliday. There's Matt Adams, who's hit into a double play and walked. 4-4 here in the home half of the 5th. These Cardinals just do not give in.
Well, the feel that I had when Chicago scored 3 runs in the top of the 5th was a lot like the feeling when the Cubs scored 5 in the top of the 1st yesterday. In fact, Matheny was asked about that. When did it seem bleakest for you yesterday in that game? And he said top of the 1st.
Sure.
I mean, I'm already thinking, okay, what do we do? How do we stay in this game? And, you know, he's thinking about pitchers, who he can use, and he's had a lot of conversations about that. Pete Kozma, by the way, is his pitcher if you have to use a position player.
We thought they may present itself on Sunday.
We thought that was going to happen, and Pete was very adamant about it's just all fastballs as far as he's concerned.
I'd like to see him on the mound.
He said, I'm not sure if I can pitch, but I can throw.
You and I were talking the other day about where Mike Matheny would go, what direction in terms of a position player. We both guessed Kozma,
yeah,
but we both have remarked he has one of the stronger arms on the team.
He does.
I'm not saying he'd get on the mound and just start firing it, but he's
Mike,
such a good athlete, you would think that he'd be able to just at least throw BP strikes, so to speak.
Mike was clear with us today about the fact that, you know, he had gotten to the point where they were kind of all in the 9 innings of that game with Rosenthal, and after that they were just going to see whatever happened.
Adams with a fly ball into right, the catch made by Soler.
You know, once you go all in, you're just going to have to kind of wait around and hope for the best, and the best happened. Always enjoyed doing this telecast with you, Dan, and now we'll be back for the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th.
Remember, we're talking about superstitions in the game of baseball, and you don't want to.
I thought it was the opposite thing there, like if you say it, like the no-hitter thing.
So now you're saying we're going into extra innings. No, there is no opposite when you say that.
I'm just saying it's possible.
Fly ball into right center off the bat of Peralta. We're at the UMB Champions Club, so we're in the middle of the fans right now. And after Carpenter knocked out a 3-run homer, you heard the chants of MVP here at the ballpark. 4-4. Cardinals player or St. Louis celebrity. All proceeds benefit the RBI program. For more information and to sign up, visit cardinals.com/RBI Golf. T-Mobile game changer. Lowest bullpen ERAs. Al mentioned it earlier. Kansas City an even 1, and the Cardinals 1.52.
Hard to win without a good bullpen. Cardinals have certainly had that through Cinco de Mayo. And there's Al with all of his friends. That's not even all of Al's friends. That's just some of Al's friends. Al has so many friends here at the ballpark. Countless.
You notice there was not one guy in that shot.
Of course.
He just turns into the nicest guy when some of our lady fans are around. Hope June's watching. Here's Mitch Harris. A 4-4 game here at the top of the 6th. Here comes Al charging us now. And a fly ball lifted into right. Who wants it? It'll be John Jay. So the first man retired. That's Wellington Castillo.
Well, Danny, when you and I first saw Mitch Harris pitch in the spring training game, we thought, what a nice thing the Cardinals are doing, giving this guy an opportunity. And frankly, anybody who was at the ballpark that day felt as if that was almost like a, I don't know, just a feel-good moment, but not necessarily something that would lead to him being a member of the bullpen. Not just a member of the bullpen, but highly contributing to what's going on here. I mean, he just has had a meteoric rise after not pitching for 4 years, and all of a sudden he starts throwing 86 miles an hour, then back to 88, now up to 95. Off-speed pitch is very, very good.
This stuff is good.
It is. This is not just a feel-good thing. This is a guy who's earned it.
And then some. Chris Coghlan at the plate. The pinch hitter for Kyle Hendricks. Coghlan, a former Rookie of the Year, and unfortunately was injured in an odd way. Former 36th overall pick in 2006 out of Ole Miss. Had a torn meniscus in his left knee after a celebration in San Francisco. One of the walk-off wins. And they're jumping around, piling on, and he gets hurt. To his credit, he is stuck with it. 3-1 pitch. Now 3-2.
If I recall that particular injury, and it's been years now, and he was a terrific player as a rookie. I think that was really during the interview and somebody trying to put a pie in his face, and he kind of twisted out of the way, and that's how he hurt his knee. And so it was the celebration that also included him being interviewed, and what a terrible moment that was.
A 3-2. In the air, left side. Carpenter over near the stands, makes the play. Nice catch, Matt Carpenter.
Well, Cardinal fans are thinking, is that Scott Rowland? Is that Terry Pendleton? Is that Kenny Reese going after that? The Cardinals have had a lot of third basemen who are really good at that particular play. Nicely done.
All that foul territory that made Jack Clark upset. He talked about that earlier with the cat. Here's Addison Russell, who has been on base twice with a double and a walk.
As you know, I have great respect for Mr. Clark.
As do I.
So if he said it, sign me up.
Kyle Hendricks, 5 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, walked 2, struck out 1. The Cubs as a team struck out 10 times last night. They have struck out 8 this evening. There's a ground ball that's pulled foul. 1-2.
We should credit the job that Seth Maness did out of the Cardinals bullpen. He got the double play he needed. It didn't get turned, but then he was able to kind of quiet things down. Got the strikeout, got through that 5th inning. The Cubs' damage got held down a bit.
Now time is called. Cardinals will have Heyward, Molina, and Wong looking ahead to the 6th, the bottom half. 1-2 pitch on its way. The 1-2 in on his hands. Look at that pitch right there. 94 with run in on the right-hander.
Well, if a ball's running either to the right or to the left, you've got something. Because that's a pitch, by the time he starts to swing, it ends up on his fists. He thinks he's going to be able to put the barrel on it, but once you start to swing, the ball gets in on you. You can't get a good piece of it. Then he paints you away. I think that looked like a strike to me.
And a couple of pitches that have not gone Mitch Harris's way in this inning.
Well, good call.
Chevy Fox tracks. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the next 2, Addison Russell. Same spot. Well, at least Bill Welke is consistent, and that's what you ask. I mean, he has painted that corner. The 3-2 pitch. And a fly ball lifted out to deep left field. Holliday looks up, and it's off the wall. Addison Russell with another near home run and his 2nd double tonight.
I think that ball might have been down in the zone a bit. Let's see. Down and in, really thigh high and in, but he's shown that he can hit the ball down in the zone.
Been hit for power too.
And he just kind of, you see him just kind of open his hips and turn on the baseball. And here's a guy that is going to strike out a lot when you open your hips like that, because he'll get you away. If those balls would have been on the outside corner, he was out. I mean, they were balls, but if he wants to hit him, he can't, because he wants to turn on the ball. But you get the ball in the inner half, and he's gonna do just what he did.
Now it's Dexter Fowler. Sacrificed his last time up. 2 outs, runner in scoring position, and he hits it in the air towards us. Out of play. Strike 1. Robbed by Matt Carpenter his first time up. Grounded into a fielder's choice. 0 for 2 tonight.
You want to win this game, don't you warm up Sokolovich?
He's been the lucky charm, huh? Have him face a batter, come on out.
Yeah, just show his face, just wave something.
Here's the 0-1 pitch to Fowler, taken low and in. One for 12 in this spot for the Cubs center fielder. One ball and 2 strikes. One, 2 on its way. Cubs finished 17 games back of the Cardinals last year. But the hope was the way that they finished, 21-19 over the final 5.5 weeks. The promise of Lester and Madden, the young players coming up. The 2-2. Got him! A strikeout for Mitch Harris. Brewers and Twins. Get your $6 tickets now at cardinals.com/famousfootwear. Don't delay. This offer is too good to miss. Mazda game summary. We're tied up 4-4. Both starters are out. Matt Carpenter, a 3-run blast to tie it up at 4. UMB Champions Club. And the new pitcher in for Chicago, old friend Edwin Jackson, who signed a monstrous contract with the Chicago Cubs. This is our Chevy call to the bullpen. At the time, Theo Epstein knew it was a rebuilding project. Jed Hoyer, they thought, okay, Edwin Jackson comes in, provides a lot of innings. Hasn't pitched that well, but to his credit, there's a slowly hit ball that Jackson will underhand to first. They say he's taken the demotion to the bullpen. He's a true pro. Hasn't complained.
Well, he was a terrific teammate here when he was a Cardinal. They loved him
and
here.
They know he's frustrated.
But of course, well, you're going to be frustrated. You want to pitch, and he's been around a long time, played with a lot of teams, as you mentioned, and he's a guy that is a workhorse, still throws very hard. I remember him when he first came up, and he was with the Dodgers, and I thought, man, this guy's got an arm. And we thought he had a great career ahead, and he's had some nice moments in his career. But I think the problem with Jackson has often been the ability to command the strike zone on a consistent basis. It's not throwing hard enough. You talked about the no-hitter he once threw where he had all those walks, yet you're going to get a lot of pitches from Edward Jackson. He's a slow worker, and he throws a lot of pitches.
Molina with an RBI single, also is hit into a double play. 5-4-3. Showed you the numbers. Molina has owned this right-hander. That's it out of play. I'm going to show you the Jack Clark bobblehead in just a moment that Ricky has decided to break. least his head is still on the bobblehead. Can't say that about Al's that you used to handle.
You say I decided to. I was just clumsy when I opened the box. I didn't really decide to. Could happen to anybody.
With a base hit out to left. So Jack Clark, he looks great right here, but he's missing the bat.
So I broke the bat of Jack Clark. That's the story. Tell all your friends.
With you, Horton.
Tell all your friends. Yep.
So Molina the base hit, and here's Colton Wong.
It's actually a nice bobblehead. Jack looks good in it. Good to see him at the ballpark today.
Into center and a base hit. Put the eye black on.
That's a terrific touch. Yep. That's awesome.
That's Jack right there. I just colored in a little bit of the eye black.
That is awesome.
Is that not him now?
Totally. Fearsome hitter.
See right there. You just got to do a little work right there.
Well, Danny,
you color in one of the teeth too.
You're very capable, and I'm guessing next year you'll be on the bobblehead committee.
I'm good. I know Al has one coming up later.
And we're not letting you draw on that one.
And you have one coming up later. Looking forward to those. And smashing them. Here's Mike Reynolds. Hero from yesterday. I wouldn't do that to your bobblehead.
I know you would.
Not do that.
I know you would. One of the things I like about Reynolds, and talked about him with a couple of guys around the cage today, is doesn't seem like he has a violent swing, but the ball just jumps off his bat. There's a great strength that he has in his swing. Really good finish as well.
So where does the power come from?
I think he generates bat speed, but he's just playing strong. I mean, I think that's part of it. Randall Grichuk's like that. Talked about Matheny saying to us that he doesn't think there's a stronger player on this team than Randall Grichuk. By the way, I saw it take BP today. Wow. Be nice to have him back.
Reynolds, high fly ball, right center field. He's done it again. It's off the wall. One run is in. That's Yachty. They'll hold up Colton Wong, and Mark Reynolds has put the Cardinals back on top by 4.
And that almost snuck out of here. Pitch up in the zone. It's a slider. Spins a little bit, and Reynolds takes it the other way. Wong reads it right about there. Makes it to third, but is held by Jose Oquendo, and Mark Reynolds does indeed come through again. Now here's where you got to just add on. Very important opportunity right now.
No activity in the Cubs pen. One out. Runners at second and third. And Jay again hit by the pitch. Second time tonight. Third time in this series. And he's closing in on the league leader, Anthony Rizzo, who's standing at first base with him. Bases loaded for Matt Carpenter. And Busch Stadium is ready to erupt.
But first we get a visit from Chris Bosio, and no action in the Cubs bullpen. We've got a good view of their bullpen, and there's some guys out there stretching a bit, but nobody throwing yet. This inning is Edwin Jackson. There's Jason Mott. We've seen him already in this series. Actually had a nice outing.
Inning started with a little tapper back to Edwin Jackson off the bat of Heyward. Single by Molina, single by Wong. Mike Reynolds a double off the wall to score a run. Jay hit by a pitch. They're loaded up for Carpenter, who's already cracked a 3-run homer tonight.
Happens fast, doesn't it?
Lefty is up now in the pen, but you have to figure that's for Adams. Holliday is on deck. Bases loaded for Carpenter. First pitch to him. This is where Carpenter excels. We always talk about what he does with 2 strikes, but he is still, even in spots where you think many get overly aggressive, very patient.
He's patient because he's not overmatched by anybody. Talked to Bill Miller about him today, and that's exactly the comment that he made. Very, very, very smart player.
1 ball, 1 strike on Matt Carpenter. Some of the folks here, 40,000 plus on their feet. The 1-1. Taken for a ball. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Well, Danny, I made the comment that a 4-1 lead in the middle of the game feels like a bigger lead than 9-6 in the middle of the game. Something about a game that's been high scoring, and this all of a sudden has turned into a game with some offense. Credit the Cardinals with that 3-run 5th, but now they're adding on here in the 6th.
2-1 pitch. Carpenter out to deep left, and it is caught on the track by Junior Lake. Runner tags, that's Colton Wong. Cardinals add to their lead. Matt Carpenter, a 4 RBI night. He's now up to 20, and St. Louis lead it 6-4.
Another good at bat for Carpenter. Situational hitting, get the ball into the outfield, and in the midst of that, you've got kind of a logjam at second base right around now. You got John Jay and Mark Reynolds, and Jay, of course, touches the bag to make sure he re-tags it on the way back to the bag and does not pass Mark Reynolds, which would also result in an out if he did that inadvertently. So Reynolds had to be very aware of John Jay on his heels.
Two on, 2 outs for Holliday. He's 2 for 3. The fly ball lifted down the right field line and foul. Being a fan or an usher would be a tough job down there.
Man down. Well, there's the usher and ooh, ouch.
Next pitch to a Holliday, take it for a ball. Some of the folks here at the UMB Champions Club are the kids from the Kirkwood Royals. They won their tournament over the weekend. They wanted to make sure that everybody knew about it. So congratulations. 2 balls and 1 strike on Matt Holliday. I mean, anytime you see the kids and they ask you to say that, you have to.
Of course.
Can't let them down.
No, you can't. And you never do, Danny.
2-1 pitch to Holliday. Out of play, 2-2.
Notice before the game that the Cardinals are 4th in the National League in slugging percentage. And we've been talking quite a bit over the last week that you don't have to hit home runs to be a power team. This is a team that gets a lot of doubles, a lot of extra base hits. Therefore, the slugging percentage high. That's a power team doing that.
Slowly hit to short, and it gets through. Castro wanted to barehand it, and it turns into an infield hit, and the bases are loaded for Matt Adams. At this point, you think that you've got to go to your lefty Russell, who's just rejoined the club, to face Matt Adams. We will see. So base hit for Holliday and a 3-hit night.
Russell's now ready. He got ready in a hurry. Madden to the mound. Cardinals with an opportunity to blow this open here in the 6th inning.
James Russell, our Chevy call to the pen. He'll face Adams when we come back. Stad, the former major leaguer. The Cardinals have the bases loaded. Cardinals at one point trailed 5-0 yesterday, then 8-4. Today they trailed 4-1. And here they are leading now 6-4.
Well, once you do it once, it feels like you're going to do it again.
There's a lot of truth to that. Mark Reynolds with the grand slam yesterday. Bases loaded, 2 outs for Matt Adams. And the first pitch taken low. Matt is 0 for 2. The 1-0 pitch. Ground ball hit to short. Castro with it, and he gets Adams. Cardinals strand the bases loaded, but they pick up 2, and in doing so break a 4-4 tie. Mark Reynolds off the bench again. $1.99 at McDonald's. Rick Horton, Dan McLaughlin, Al Braboski, Jim Hayes with you from the UMB Champions Club. And Kevin Segrist is our Chevy call to the pen. Scoreless inning by Mitch Harris in the 6th. Manus got out of a little trouble back in the 5th. Tyler Lyons, your starter tonight, the Hyundai pitch arsenal for the lefty.
You're going to see a lot of fastballs from Kevin Segrist. He's one of those guys that has a nice, smooth, easy delivery. And because of his height, the ball just kind of jumps out of his hand. People have trouble picking up the fastball of Kevin Segrist. He's using his changeup more often, but still weapon number one is that fastball.
So Reynolds stays in the game. He's at first base. Anthony Rizzo, Kris Bryant, Jorge Soler. And a fastball that's taken high. We almost had a play last inning where you could have seen two guys scoring back to back. And I mean back to back. If the ball would have gotten over Junior Lake's head.
Well, it's part of the reason we pointed that out, that little log jam there at second base. And it was Mark Reynolds and John Jay, and both of them were trying to get into position to be able to score. And if Junior Lake would have dropped that ball, we might have had a fun play at the plate. And we'll show it to you here in a moment. Here's that play. It's Reynolds, and he's right where he's supposed to be. He's able to score from there, and John Jay wants to be able to score from first. Again, he retouches the bag. But had he dropped that ball, both those guys would, I mean, John Jay would have been on his heels, and they would have been a mad dash to the plate with both of them, and would have been a fun play at the plate. Kind of wish it would have happened.
The 2-on, a base hit by Rizzo into right field. Tying run will come to the plate in Kris Bryant.
We've seen that before. I remember a play Carlton Fisk had where he tagged two guys out at the plate. Very balanced at the plate. Picks that front leg up, drops it, but never really loses his balance. He's having a nice night offensively. 3 hits off of left-handed pitching.
Now Kris Bryant. And Bryant hits it out to left, but right to Holliday.
Boy, we get a good look at the bat speed of Kris Bryant from this angle, don't we?
Just thinking the same thing.
See why everybody likes him.
He's the one guy tonight that bat speed has stood out from this angle.
Yeah, I would agree.
We sit behind home plate normally, and you get used to seeing it. A few things stand out for you. But whoa, Bryant's bat speed really stands out. Here's Soler.
You can definitely see the late movement better from this angle from the pitcher's point of view, too.
Absolutely.
We're often obscured by the umpire from our view. Of course, with the center field camera, folks watching on TV can see it clearly, that late movement, but harder for us to see that live from our vantage point. And that's one of the things I always say when you're trying to learn the game of baseball. Sit in a different spot. Go to the game, sit in right field, sit in left field, sit in the bleachers, behind home plate, UMB Champions Club. Get the full experience.
Here's an 0-1 pitch to Soler. Now 0-2. Soler is grounded out to third. RBI with a sac fly back in the third. And a single to left field. Kevin Segrist, the 4th pitcher used tonight by St. Louis. Molina sets up outside the 0-2. It's his spot. Went with a changeup on the 0-2, or rather the 1-2 pitch.
Location was up just a little bit. Again, he's starting to use it more and more. He had trouble a couple games ago pulling that across the strike zone. Still got outs with it. The speed was right, but he was pulling it across the plate. Better to be away with that changeup.
Now the 1-2. Got him. A swing and a miss by Soler. The Cubs have struck out 10 times tonight, 10 times in game 1.
And that changeup sets up this fastball, where he just kind of blows it by him up in the zone after taking a little off. Soler was right on it. He was a little tardy on that fastball.
See Segrist, he's got a little giddy up with that fastball. 2 outs and a runner at first. Here's Starlin Castro.
Yeehaw. Giddy up, you say?
You got it. Castro 2 for 4 against Segrist.
There's a little whoa on the changeup and a little giddy up on the fastball. I think you're on to something, Danny.
There's a ground ball and handled there by Colt Wong, ranging to his left, and he makes the play. Time to stretch from the UMB Champions Club here at Busch Stadium. 6-4 Cardinals. Carpenter, Gonzalez, Cruz, and Cespedes. And Matt Carpenter with a home run tonight, 4 RBIs, now with 5 homers, 20 driven in this year. Cardinals have Peralta, Heyward, Molina against James Russell. We're underway here in the home half of the 7th.
Things have gotten a little more normalized in the Cardinals bullpen. You see people slotting into where you're used to seeing them. Decisions have been made about relievers in the last 3 days because of a short start a week or so ago, then extra inning games where you had to use whoever was available as opposed to who works best in this situation. So I think Mike Matheny's starting to ease back into kind of where he wants to be.
This is a Gateway Honda home run inning. If a Cardinals player hits a home run, the Gateway Honda dealers will donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Gives you a lot of late nights and a lot of headaches trying to manage around a short bullpen. And Mike was talking about how much of an asset David Bell has been to him, his bench coach. He just can't say enough about David's ability, and there's David to his right, of looking ahead. And that's really what a bench coach does, is help you think ahead and plot out the next inning, the next inning, the next scenario, so you're not surprised.
3-2, a fly ball lifted into right field. Soler makes the catch, and there's one down. just saw Craig Counsell named as the manager of the Milwaukee Brewers. And some around the game that I've talked to, I'll say, what's the hardest part for Mike Matheny, Brad Ausmus, Craig Counsell when they first get these jobs? No managerial experience at this level. They say, essentially, how to manage your day.
Yeah.
You know, figuring out how to make sure that you continue with relationships with your players. Wow. Russell and Castro knocking into each other.
Heyward runs well, and he hits his ball right between them, so it may be a hit anyway.
It is. They ruled it a base hit.
But this is just bad communication, and normally you'll see them looking out of the corner of their eye, but they're both focusing on the baseball, so I guess you'd rather them do that than both ignore the ball. I mean, if you're a manager of a team, you'd rather see both guys going for it, but literally right in between them and no opportunity, or they didn't take the opportunity anyway to communicate.
Now it's Yadier Molina.
It's interesting, Dan, you don't think about having to call a ground ball.
No.
You think about, I got it in the outfield, but
the other thing, too, here, you have Castro, a natural shortstop, and Russell, also a natural shortstop. You know, still learning to play second base. I mean, that's part of this, too. A 1 pitch to Molina.
Great point. By the way, a little tip for youth coaches and young kids in the outfield: don't teach him to say I got it or you got it, because all each other hears is got it. Okay, so you either say me, or you, not I got it, you got it, because all you hear is got it. You got some coaching ahead of you, Danny. I'm sure you'll remember that thought and teach that somewhere down the road with one of your kids.
Well, I've been thinking if I was having to coach our director, Tom Mead. His name is Mead, so I don't know what I'd do then. Now I'm in a quandary.
That is confusing.
Runner goes, and it's hit towards third. Nice play by Kris Bryant. And Heyward to third, and safe. He was running on the play, and Heyward diving into third base safely. Boy, I love his aggressiveness on the bases.
I just think this is something winning baseball teams do. They are aggressive on the base paths, and the Cardinals certainly a winning team. 13 games over 500 right now. You'd say, what's the difference between being on second and third? Well, you're just pushing the envelope a little bit. You're letting the other team know that you're not done trying to score runs. And I love that play by Jason Heyward.
So 2 down, and it's Colton Wong. Heck of a play there by Kris Bryant. That saved a run. And that is all the way around big league baseball, from Kris Bryant to the running of Jason Heyward to the throw back to the bag at third. Well done all the way around.
Good throw, good tag, everything right.
Here's a 1-0 pitch. Now, in talking with those that are around the Cubs daily, they said, you know, Kris Bryant has gotten so much attention, rightfully so, with the great power that he possesses, but they have been very impressed with his defense.
Well, he makes a nice play glove-wise, but the throw was pretty strong, too. Through a clothesline.
Here's a 1-1 pitch to Colton Wong with 2 outs and a runner at third. Circled by Castro. Wong is safe, and a run scores. So again, the aggressiveness of Heyward comes through in this game, and it's 7-4.
Not all runs scored are the same. Sometimes you get on, somebody hits a double, drives you in, and it's easy. But in this case, Jason Heyward makes this run happen. The infield hit, the close play, the good speed of Colton Wong. But it's because Jason Heyward is on third that the Cardinals are now enjoying a 3-run lead here in the 7th.
Called Wong a 3-hit night. He has scored 2 runs and now picks up an RBI. Here's Mike Reynolds, who doubled off the wall with an RBI back in the 6th. Cardinals trailed at 1 point in this game 4-1. Now they lead it 7-4.
It's almost like stealing a run right there, isn't it?
It really is.
You think about how Heyward got on in the first place, hustling down the line, the play where the infielders collided, then him taking that extra base, then another infield hit, and all of a sudden you're looking at another Cardinal run.
Reynolds with a high fly ball, left field, and this one will stay in the ballpark. Catch made by Junior Lake. We head to the 8th. Cardinals add on. It's 7-4. Booth. Every time we had a shot of Allie's taking pictures with all the ladies back there. Good to see you, Al.
Dan, I'm sorry to leave them. They were looking for fatherly advice.
Here's Junior Lake. Well, we've had some offense since you left us.
Well, I thought Ricky did it. I was really cursing him when he messed up the game, but he got it back on track. I think with your help.
1 ball and 1 strike. Kevin Siegrist is 2nd inning of work. Back in the 7th, he allowed a base hit and a fly out to left, a strikeout, and a ground out. The Cubs have struck out 10 times tonight collectively in this lineup. Cardinals have used Lyons for 4 2/3, Manus, Harris, and the 2nd inning of work now for Kevin Siegrist. Right down the middle for a strike.
And you talk about 10 strikeouts. The Cubs struck out 10 times last night, and that's getting to be a routine for them.
We saw that at the tail end of last year with Soler and Baez. Castro, number of their young players striking out a ton. That includes the man at the plate, Junior Lake, who's near 40 now.
They're going to go through some growing pains, but there definitely is talent.
This is way better than the teams that we've seen the last, I'd say, 3 to 4 years coming through St. Louis.
Saw Mr. Ricketts before the game. He was taking a tour of Busch Stadium. And
Tom Ricketts?
Yep. And told him, that they're making great progress. He's excited about his team, and rightfully so.
Here's a 1-2. He's the chairman of the Chicago Cubs. Grew up a Cubs fan. Actually met his wife while watching a Cubs game in the bleachers. That's a Cubs fan right there.
Definitely.
They're hoping that a couple of sections of the left field bleachers will be available by the next time they get back home. 3-2 the count. How about the base running Al of Jason Hayward? Difference maker last night and again tonight.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier about Jason, that ability to go to first to third, and I think it's fitting right into his game plan that Mike Matheny wants to push the envelope, wants to be very aggressive on the base paths, and it showed up tonight.
3-2 in on the hands, and a fly ball into right center field. John Jay is there, one away.
And there's a couple ladies that are not in attendance, but big fans of yours. Anna Mae Grice from Evansville and Sharon Price from Newburgh, Illinois, or excuse me, Indiana. 80 years young in that neighborhood, and big Cardinal fans that never miss a telecast. They wanted to say hello to you.
Here's Wellington Castillo with one out, nobody on. Castillo with a fly ball into deep right center field. Hayward on the move. He is there, but can't make the catch. Hits off the base of the wall, and Castillo trots into second base with a double. Last night a 5-0 lead. Remember also an 8-4 lead and then lost 10-9. Tonight led at one point 4-1, now trailing by 3.
Well, you know, they had some capable relievers at the end of a game, but the most demoralizing thing for a young ball club is to battle hard for leads and then to lose them. And I'm sure that's one of the areas that they'll try and shore up. But everybody has a problem with middle relief.
Here's David Ross. We saw him in the NL Central with the Cincinnati Reds. And basically, he is the personal catcher for John Lester. Lester will start tomorrow, so you would expect Ross to be in the lineup. Exactly.
And because they carry 3 catchers, they use these guys as pinch hitters. And Ross, his average, you know, it's down, but he has that home run threat, and he can hit one out.
1 ball and 1 strike. Randy Choate is getting loose in the pen for St. Louis.
Now, if you're working with Tim McCarver, he would say Ross is he's the glue that holds the Cubs together. Because of Carlton.
Oh.
Carlton made Timmy his personal catcher. And they remain great friends for that mere fact.
Oh, yeah. The 2-1 pitch to Ross on its way. Take it down and in. Now Molina wants to talk it over.
Second time since I've been doing the games where this situation has happened with a runner out at second base that Molina is not comfortable. May want to tell Segrist to trust his stuff, but also worrying a little bit about the runner at second base because he gives location. You don't always have to give the pitch selection, or whether it's a curveball or fastball. Sometimes just given location will dictate whether it is.
Sokolovich, by the way, is throwing in the pen as well. So it might be 2 factors with that. What you're talking about, as well as Sokolovich, to give him time to get loose.
Our good luck charm out there in the bullpen.
2 appearances, 2 wins.
Let's put it this way: he's earned both of them. I don't want to see him get a 3rd one tonight.
A 3-1 pitch, and the tying run will come to the plate. Tonight on Fox Sports Live, A-Rod goes for 661. Full highlights and analysis. Yankees are in action tonight. Warriors and Wizards try to go up 2-0. And Stick here for a simulcast of Fox Sports Live after the game.
Second, and Sokolovich has been very, very impressive. His 2 wins in his first 2 appearances with St. Louis. He was the last man standing in the extra inning game on Sunday, and then last night he picked up the win. Got a very good changeup. He's got a good slider, and he's got some major league experience plus Japan. So it is really nice to see what he's done, and you see that 0 ERA and 2 wins in 2 innings pitched. But like I said, he's earned it.
Really like the changeup.
Yes. Changeup goes one way, the slider goes another way, and it looks like he spots his fastball well enough also. How about the night for Russell?
Good-looking player, isn't he?
Absolutely. Youngest player in the National League, second youngest in all of baseball, and he is an immense talent.
Couple of doubles, a run scored, and he has also walked. So 2 on, 1 out. First pitch to him. The strike. Cardinals have sent down Sam Tuivailala when they activated Tyler Lyons. Brought him up, and I know you were impressed with what you saw from Sam. Here's a 0-1 pitch.
Yeah, Dan, we saw Sam and you know, last season, and yeah, he might touch 100 miles an hour consistently around 96, 97, but it must be straight because he's given up 3 home runs in 3 major league starts. Didn't have much of an off-speed pitch. What I saw this year from him is much improved breaking ball and changeup, so he's well on his way. He's just not there yet. And Sokolovich, to me, it was obvious that he's the one that stays when you had to make a roster change to bring Tyler Lyons, the starter tonight. But we'll hear more from Sam.
Oh, yeah. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Addison Russell. Doesn't chase.
That's a big word with the Cubs. If they can keep their hitters from chasing,
yeah.
You know, that's why the strikeouts pile up. And a good approach for them is to get ahead with strike 1. Good approach with anybody. But then you can pitch off the plate and get them to chase.
The 2-2 pitch. Here she comes. Oh, just missed.
How much did they miss? There's that little slider. It's down and away, obviously. Good job of laying off it. big pitch in this ball game. Been many.
That's twice he's laid off a very good pitch like that. "3-2. Got him. He may have gotten away with that pitch.
Change up.
So a strikeout. And there's 2 down.
Maybe it's a slider there, a little dot. But this time he threw a strike and Russell come up empty. First time they're retiring tonight.
But Addison was surprised at a slider that didn't move. Didn't do much, and he got away with it.
Sometimes that's the best. You know, you're swinging for the movement.
Here's Dexter Fowler with runners at first and second and 2 outs. The fans have the wave going, and apparently that was started by our very own Jim Hayes.
Good for Jimmy. You know, Dan, there's times when you will throw a pitch and you cringe when it leaves your hand and you'll get away with it. Other times you say, how did he hit that pitch?
It's baseball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, you think about it too, in that at bat, he had 2 really good ones just off the plate, and then one that's just spinning, doesn't do anything, and sits over the middle of the plate.
That, you know, is 80 miles an hour, and you're kind of, you know, young players saying, okay, I got a young pitcher out there, he's going to throw a fastball, and this count, you throw something off speed or breaking, and it'll get you.
2 balls and a strike. Cardinals have the top of the lineup due up. Right now leading 7-4. 2 balls, 1 strike on Dexter Fowler. Hitless tonight. That time he got the changeup and it tails away from the left-handed batter.
I say sometimes the changeup goes away from the left-hander and the slider comes in. A lot of times they will throw the changeup to the lefties, the slider to the right-handers.
The 2-2.
Try to do it again, just got to elevate it a little bit so it doesn't have that sinking action. Fowler should be his last batter. Got Choate warming up for Rizzo on decks. Make that 2 next inning.
Runners go on the 3-2 and bases loaded. Anthony Rizzo coming up.
Dini hustling out here, that usually an indication that he's not going to go to the bullpen by running. Maybe he likes what he's seen from Sokolovich, that he won't go to his 1 bullet Randy showed against the left-handed Rizzo.
Now, whether he does or doesn't get him out, if you would bring in Randy Choate, isn't that why Randy Choate's here?
Exactly right. Really, the one guy.
This is the one guy he's supposed to get.
Yep.
Now, I could also see if Joe Madden wants to counter and go with the righty, but you wouldn't think you'd do that with Anthony Rizzo, who knocked out 32 home runs last year, and also has been hitting better, much better, as we noted earlier, against left-handed pitching. So they're going to go with the right-hander. Interesting.
You know, Dan, it doesn't matter. If you're left-handed and you're facing left-handed, you're still going to make a good pitch. Make a good pitch, you get somebody out, you make a bad pitch, anybody can hit you.
and a strike.
Fowler took a very close 3-2 pitch also, so they must think that Sokolovic is throwing a lot of strikes. And remember, you got the good batting eye of Rizzo. He doesn't chase out of the strike zone very often.
And a ground ball that's hit to second. The move will pay off. Wong to first. The Cubs strand the bases loaded. This Bud's for you. And by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. Rick Horton is with us. Jim Hayes, Al Raboski, Dan McLaughlin. It's been a gorgeous night here in the Gateway City, and we've had a lot of fun here at the UMB Champions Club. Phil Koch is the Chevy call to the pen. We saw him pitch last night. 14th appearance. ERA is close to 6 in 7 2/3 innings. Cardinals have the top of the lineup, and that means Jay, Carpenter, and Holliday. John Jay has been hit twice tonight. He was called out on strikes back in the third and flied out to left and stranded 2.
Job of leadoff man is to get on base, and to say that he's been hurt mildly with a 2 more hit. Sometimes amazing how he'll take it around the kneecap and doesn't seem like it phases him a bit.
First pitch to John Jay, a breaking ball taken low. And we're underway here in the home half of the 8th. One ball, 1 strike.
Koch has pitched with the Yankees and mostly with Detroit in his big league career.
One and 2 the count. Cardinals have a right-hander throwing in the pen. And for St. Louis, warming up, believe it's Trevor Rosenthal, and it is. Slowly hit to the right side. Koch will take it himself, and there's 1 away. Yellowwood bringing the lumber, and it's Matt Carpenter back in the 5th inning.
Big 3-run home run back there in that 5th inning.
Added another RBI in the 6th. And he is up to 20 driven in this year. 5 home runs to lead the club. So 1 out, nobody on for Matt Carpenter. What a year he's had.
I know it's so early in the season, but it'd be hard to find someone much better. I guess Adrian Gonzalez got Player of the Month. I'm sure Carpenter was a close second.
He's looking at the numbers, and Gonzalez, they better put up a historic month because that's what Carpenter did.
Exactly.
I mean, how can he get much better than what Matt did? One ball, 1 strike.
Thing about Carpenter too, it doesn't really matter if it's a left-handed pitcher or a right-hander. So good at keeping that front shoulder in against the lefty, doesn't bail.
I think one of the interesting questions for Mike Matheny after this game will be a move that did pay off for him, but Randy Choate not coming in to face Rizzo and getting the ground ball. Sokolovic against Rizzo. Very interesting move. Now, Rizzo did have a little success off of Choate, but the lefty-lefty matchup, it'll be interesting to hear what he has to say.
Yeah, Rizzo was 3 for 10 with a home run off of Randy, but you know, when you look at the Chicago Cubs coming in town, Randy Choate's first #1 target is Rizzo.
Carpenter pops it up. Bryant over and sliding just out of his reach.
At least Randy Choate was a little more professional than our great friend, and we mean this not in a negative way, but remember Steve Klein when Tony La Russa didn't bring him into a game?
And it was against the Cubs.
It was against the Cubs.
Do I remember it? I'll never forget it. Cameras not ours, but the WGN feed at the time of the Cubs actually caught a hand gesture from Steve Klein. There's a strikeout, and when that was relayed to Tony La Russa in the postgame, Tony actually said, "What? He did what?" and went into the shower to talk to Steve Klein. Literally went in the shower to find him. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cardinals.
You know, Dan, I could fully understand Steve Klein's emotions. But it's just something I'm sure he regrets.
There's Pat Barris getting all the notes, all the cues ready.
Working with Andy Bennis tonight.
Andy's hidden back there, but he's getting set too. Pat and Andy and yourself and Rick do such a great job on all the pre and post game shows. 0-1 pitch to Holliday.
Matt 3 for 4. Leading the National League in on-base percentage. Every game that he has played, and he's missed one, Matt Holliday has reached base by either a walk or a base hit.
You want to go up the ladder on Holliday, and it's taken for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes with 2 outs. Matt Adams on deck. Or check that cruise. And the 1-2. fought off by Holliday. And out of play. So Rosenthal loosening in the Cardinals bullpen. And a right-hander throwing right now for the Chicago Cubs. That's Anthony Bavaro, who was just added to their bullpen earlier today.
Well, Rosenthal got yesterday off, so he right back in there. Cardinals on the verge of winning their 8th straight. Just a phenomenal start to the season, but so many close games that you're taxing the bullpen night after night after night, and it's not just one guy, it's several guys that have to get up and throw.
Back to Koch. And we head to the 9th. St. Louis 7, Chicago 4. Rosenthal coming on when we come back. Call to the pen. We're coming to you from the UMB Champions Club for Game 2 of this 4-game series. Cubs and Cardinals. And the first pitch is a strike. Last time we saw Rosenthal, he gave up a home run to Gang of Pittsburgh to tie the game up. Cardinals were looking for a sweep, and they eventually won that in extra innings.
That kind of came out of nowhere, didn't it? First pitch, breaking ball.
Ooh, right off the mask of the catcher. Then to the home plate umpire, who says he's all right. It did. It was first pitch, and then he knocked it into the seats, the bleachers in left, and we had ourselves a 1-1 game.
And we had fun playing 14 innings. Here's the foul tip, right square into Milwaukee's mask. Gotti asked him, do you know where you are? And he said, yes, Cincinnati. Gotti said, good. Right there.
Let's focus on the one in the middle.
Yeah, that's right.
And a ground ball hit to short, taken there by Peralta. One away.
If Rosenthal can't pick up this 9th save here in 10 opportunities, but do it in really quick fashion. And it's almost getting to be a habit of Mike Matheny using 5 relievers for these victories, and it's going to take a toll if you try and do this night after night after night when they're playing this great winning baseball.
That's what's happened tonight with 5 relievers and a strike to Jorge Soler. Soler with a base hit and an RBI tonight. Whoa. The 1-1. Now 1-2. Cardinals looking for the victory. If they get it, they're 20-6. Best start in franchise history continues. 97 on the gun from Rosenthal. It'll also be the Cardinals' 13th win at home.
13-2, right?
If they get it tonight. Hit to third. There's Carpenter. 2 down. Our Budweiser player of the game. First baseman Mark Reynolds. 1 for 2 and a big double again. Big hit in this series again.
And he got it was a 4-4 tie, and he hit the ball off the right field wall. Got the RBI. I almost thought he might start. He was 3 for 4 off of Hendricks, and Adams was 0 for 7.
Starlin Castro, base hit into center field.
Castro is now 6 for 13 off of Rosenthal. Why don't we play another pitch or two?
Here's Junior Lake.
Lake 2 for 3 off of Trevor Rosenthal. Trying to pick up his 9th save, 10 opportunities.
0-1 pitch. Fielders indifferent, so Castro takes the bag at second. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike on Junior Lake. Crowd tonight of 41,613.
A lot of red and blue in the stands. I've seen an entertaining ball game. Trevor trying to get the final out, push the Cardinals to 6.5 games above the Chicago Cubs.
Swung on and missed that pitch at 97. The Cardinals have won 8 straight. Again, they come from behind. 7 for the final. They are 20-6. The first team in the big leagues to reach 20 wins this year. And the lead 6.5 in the Central.
You got to give this team a lot of credit. They've been playing so many tight games, but they don't give up. They come back. They battle back. And Mike Matheny is so proud of his troops for the way they grind.
A lot of fun here at the UMB Champions Club. The fun continues with the post-game show. Missouri Lottery Cardinals Live. Andy Bennis, Pat Paris. Highlights, stats, everything you need to know coming up.